Hello there. Welcome back to the art room. I'm really glad you could make it today. Today we're up in the art room cargo plane getting ready to skydive. Did you bring your parachute? You didn't? That's okay. I've got a spare one for you. We're hoping to get a beautiful view of some natural snowflakes as they fall from the sky, and we'll be collecting some and bringing them back for our drawing as reference. So are you all set? Let's go. Okay, we are now at 25,000 feet. Watch your step, Mr. Shay. Ready when you are. Woo-hoo! Wow, this is a blast! Hey, I see some great snowflakes over there. Collect just the best ones that you find. Ooh, I see a nice one. There's a good one. Got it. Yep. Oh. I think I'll get a couple more. Oh. Oh, there's a really good one. Got it. Okay. Well, I think that's enough. Let's get back to the art room so we can start our drawings. Deploy your parachute. Heading back to the art room. See you on the ground, Mr. Shay. That sure was fun floating around in the sky and collecting all those snowflakes, even though I've got to admit, either my tweezers were too warm or something went wrong. I didn't come back with any good ones. They all seem to have melted on me. But here's kind of a neat one, kind of a neat looking snowflake design that I've been kind of looking at this week to get some ideas about what to do with you. I've been practicing drawing my snowflakes all week and had a really great time drawing them and kind of making up some new designs as I went. So you might decide to just draw a snowflake along with me today, and that would be perfectly fine. Or if you want to go all the way. This design is one that I cooked up for us to do, and I just love it. What I love about it is it's got this wonderful feeling of depth, of going from high in the sky down to way, way down below to our little cozy house, our little cabin or whatever that is down at the bottom. And it's got this also this kind of neat aspect where the snowflakes just aren't stationary. They are starting off kind of looking at us straight on, but as they tumble down, they turn on their side and present an aspect of this kind of an oval shape and tilting and getting farther down as they go down into our scene. Just a really neat, kind of a neat concept. So I've got some small paper, and if you want to just follow along with a piece of black construction paper, this is 9x12 black. Or if you want to do the big scene along with me, you can start off with a 12 by 18. Now what I've done here with my 12 by 18 is cut off 3 inches of it going the tall way. So now it is 18 inches tall by 9 inches wide. And why did I do that? I wanted that really long effect of going way, way down to the earth and starting way up high in the sky like we are, kind of like I was floating around a minute ago with my parachute. All right, so for our drawing today, we're going to use a pencil. Hope you have one of those, and a white colored pencil. I'm going to take my pencil and I'm going to sketch an oval up here. I want it to kind of be not in the center just because I want a better composition. You'll notice I put a border around there, as I sometimes do. And let's start off with a pencil circle. Oval, in my case, more of an oval. It's okay. And then I'm going to take my, let's close up here a bit too so you can see what we're doing a little better. Okay, that's great. And I'm going to find a spot in the center that I can make a dot right in the center there, just a little dot. And I'm going to draw a line straight down from the top, okay, like that. And then Most, or I should say all, I guess, snowflakes have 6 aspects, 6 points. And so your snowflake will look a lot more realistic if you have 6 points. So I'm going to imagine an X shape here, okay? And my first shape will come across the center line, something like that. And then my second shape will come, second line rather, will come across, kind of like that, like slicing up a pizza. Okay, so far so good. I'm going to come into the middle and draw a circle there to kind of hold everything together and kind of lightly color that in. Like that. Okay. And then I'm going to come to the end of each one of these lines and place another smaller circle there. And there. And they're starting to look like a snowflake already, don't you think? And they're really easy to do, and they're so fun. You can really make up your own ideas as you kind of catch on to what looks snowflakey and what doesn't. Okay, so that's my star of the show, snowflakes, so far. Alright, now I'm going to come around here and make some kind of little marks to use as reference. See that line right there? I'm going to make a little dot, and about the same distance I'll make a dot, and about the same distance there I'll make a dot, and about the same distance there I'll make another dot, a little bit farther there, and a little dot there, and a little dot there. These are going to give me reference points so I can make some lines that connect those. And I could just make straight lines, but it's a little more interesting and fun looking. Looks a little more realistic if you make a curvy line. So I'm going to attach those lines together with a curvy kind of line. And it's okay to make some of them thicker, some parts of your line rather be thicker on the in the middle and a little bit thinner towards the end. I'm even going to make a little aspect of a little point there. Okay, so far so good. What I'm going to do next then is make a kind of a arrowhead there. Okay, an arrowhead right there, and an arrowhead there. And I'm doing all 6 of my lines, and you notice things are starting to get a little more complicated looking, and I just love that. I love it when it starts to get a little more complex. So now I'm going to imagine that these little V's get smaller as they converge up to the dot. So along that line I'll make another V, but it's a little bit smaller, and another V, a little smaller, and another V, a little smaller, and then another V, a little smaller. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4 more. So I'm going to go ahead and repeat that on each one of my snowflakes. Be patient with yourself about this. It's your first time drawing a snowflake, probably, so I got to share something with you. I failed the first couple of times. When I'm studying these ideas, I'll think, wow, wouldn't that be great to show them how to draw a snowflake today? And then I go ahead and try it, and I can't do it. So I wouldn't be a very good teacher unless I knew what I was going to do with you. And hey, if you have a little brother or sister, Frankie, are you listening? Then show them once you learn how. Yeah, all right. Hey, I'm liking it. I hope you're liking yours. You know, I could even quit right then, but I think the beauty of the whole snowflake idea is that just you get a lot more complicated as you go. So let's see if we can make this a little more complicated. But before we do, we'll kind of study what do we have that we can split in two here, by kind of like if I had a pizza laying there, could I cut it into even sections? So what I'm going to do next then is I'm going to draw a line that comes, see, between, we've got 6 different points. I'm going to split each one of those lines into a new division that are hopefully about the same length. Okay. Let me just carry that across straight. That'll look better. And we need one there in the middle, and we need another one there. Okay. Yeah. Let's make them a little bit more the same. Okay. Okay, so with these new 6 lines in, now I have a chance to make some more of our little leafy kind of, they're like frosty little things coming out, I guess. Trying to repeat the same for each piece. And let's see here, can I squeeze that in? Yeah, I hope. Trying to squeeze that in like that. Yes, oh yes, okay. Alright, oh, we're getting awfully snowflakey looking already. Alright, I could stop there, but I'm going to see if I can even get a little more complicated. And so I want you to look at something here for me. So we've got 6 different points, just so you don't get too distracted. And what we'll try to do next, if you can see this area right here, and these 2 lines, we'll see if we can make an interconnecting diamond shape there. Now just use the, don't go over here and do that one, just use the 6 that we started. And okay. And okay. And then there's the last one. And oh, I like the way that looks too there. So what more could we do? Well, let's see here. How about if we put a little diamond on each one of our original 6 shapes? Come on, Mr. Shay, that's not much of a diamond. Okay, and then like that. Like that. Like that. Okay. Lovely. Maybe a small dot. Now we won't look at our 6 main ones. Now we'll go with those other 6 that ended up in between. So put a little dot there, put a little dot there, put a little dot there, a little dot there. Wow. Oh, that's just getting so nice. And maybe now we're going to reverse directions here, and we'll do a pointy shape there. Pointy shape there. Pointy shape there. Okay. I hope you're following along. It's really not important that you actually do everything that I do, but if you're satisfied with your snowflake, that's the main thing. So I think we'll just leave that as it is for our beginning snowflake. I could do some other things. I could start interconnecting some of these other lines within my star maybe, or maybe even imagining something off the points of these smaller ones. But I think I'm going to hold it up right there. Okay. Great start to our snowflake drawing. And if you're quitting now, well, good job. If you're going to stick with me, we're going to see if we can go back to this beginning idea that we had with our snowflake falling down out of the sky. And I love that part of it. So when we want to show this idea of a tumbling snowflake, if it starts off this big up where we're at, then as it gets smaller, it's going to appear to look like it's descending down on our little house. And even more fun, and if we can, we'll have this kind of a tumbling aspect of our snowflake. By the time it gets down here, it's not presenting its full face to us. It is falling in, tumbling. So now the challenge of drawing a tumbling snowflake. So I'm going to come over here. Just for composition's sake, it's not going to look as pretty if I just come down here. So I'm going to come over here, tilt my paper a bit, and this time I'm going to draw a oval shape. Okay, it's very pronounced oval, and that means for my second snowflake, as it tumbles down, I'll need to I'm going to sharpen up my pencil. I'm going to need to change the dimensions of the snowflake itself here. It's going to be squished, is what I'm trying to say, but we can build it the same way. So I'll put a dot in what I think is the center, and I'll put a center line going down. This time it's a little trickier to kind of gauge where my two X lines are going to be, but I think I can do it. I'm going to go through it that way, and then shoot through it like that. Okay, so that snowflake already has the look that it's in relation to this snowflake, that it is tumbling and kind of descending. So let's build this guy. I'm going to do this one in fast motion. This next snowflake is, if that one's right in front of us, this one's farther away from us, this one's pretty far away from us, and I'm going to make that one tumbling that way, and that one's very much smaller than the first one that we drew. And as we continue our tumble down to the ground, I think it might be fun to show one even that's really small, and it's got, you know, that aspect to it there. It's almost like a pie pan, like that. And then maybe one other one. And you can see that they're all progressively getting tinier and tinier. So I'm going to go ahead and make these into snowflakes, and I hope you'll join me if you're still with me. This one's really kind of a fun one to draw because it's so absolutely squished. Really a challenge, but we can do it. And since it's so squished, we're not going to have a whole lot of working room there. I'll add what detail I can to it, but as these snowflakes are getting progressively smaller, the amount of detail that you can actually show is going to be really limited. So let's do this last one here. Okay. Yeah, another kind of a tough angle, but look at what we're getting, and we're just getting this terrific cascading look of snowflakes. So we'll go ahead and we'll finish up this little guy here. Okay, you know, as I look at it now, I think maybe I'll add one more snowflake over here someplace. It looks a little bare maybe right in here, so let's do something else. Put another one in there, I think. This time I'm substituting circles for rectangles. We'll see how that looks. That's the neat thing about art, always experimenting. I love that. Okay. Hey, I think we're in good shape. I like what we've done with our snowflakes, really tumbling down, really terrific. So I'm going to grab my kneaded rubber eraser and get rid of some of those pencil lines. And now it's time to think about some kind of atmospheric perspective, we call it, which just means that things can go from gray to light, or in our case, this sort of a extra snowy environment up here, and when we're tumbling down we see it gradually dissipate into black by the time we've reached our little house. So I'm going to try to do that with lots and lots of small snowflakes. So you notice as we are now kind of entering towards the midpoint of our paper here, the snowflakes are beginning to be a little wider spaced, and trying to give that illusion that they're farther away from us, not packed quite as tight. Okay, now I'm going to actually just do some help things along with some dots. And every once in a while you want to take a little bit of break from the dots and see if everything looks pretty graceful. And I think we're doing pretty well here. I'm just going to add a few more. Okay, I think I kind of like that. Maybe I'm going to continue down in here just a bit here. Okay, now I'm going to help the effect along a little bit with my pencil. I'm going to turn my pencil on my side here, and we will add a little bit of shading here, I think, with the side of my white colored pencil. All right, I think that looks great. So the next part we'll talk about, if you want to do the house at the bottom the way I did, we'll talk about that next. So I want to create a nice little house, a little cozy cabin down here at the bottom of our scene to kind of give it a little bit of a drama, a destination for our snowflakes, I guess. And when I did this, I gathered together some materials, and we'll just do that in a hurry. I've got some pastels that we use all the time. I've got my white colored pencil again, a darker colored pencil to do some outlining with around the house, and I think that's about it. So let's get started here. I'm going to take my our scene here we've been working on, if you're still with me, and let's take our white piece of chalk here. We'll pick a nice corner. Now you could do this corner if you'd rather. It doesn't have to be the same corner I'm working on. But what I'm going to do is color some white chalk dust. I'm going to make a little landing place here, a little hilltop or something like that, and create a neat little area for our cabin. Alright, if you want a little bit better blend, you can grab a piece of scrap paper here like I do sometimes. Just lay it right down next to your edge there and go, so you don't have to clean up afterwards. Well, I bet you that's okay. Don't worry about cleaning up. We're artists. You kidding? Clean up. Yeah, sorry, Mom. We do make lots of messes, don't we? But it's all worth it. It sure is. And we'll just kind of lay a couple of pieces of paper down there to serve as an edge. Okay, so can you imagine that? Now you're way up in a drone here and you're looking down at the hilltop or something similar to that. Just clean this up here just real quick. So when I wanted to imagine my cabin, I decided that I wanted to build a little paper model, and that's what I do sometimes for a lot of different things. It's a great idea. I just kind of made this little paper model of a faraway, it's going to be our faraway house. So it's going to help me with reference. If you haven't done any perspective drawing yet, you might want to check out one of our earlier episodes called 3D drawing, and it really goes into a lot of these ideas about drawing in perspective. So we'll set our little house down there for a minute. Now I'm going to get my pencil and I'm going to see if I can figure out, like, where do I want, what aspect do I want my house to be on? Do I want it to be more total up and down, or do I want to present a little bit of a 3/4 view? That's what I'm going for. So can you see this part of the roof right here, this part on the left? That's what we'll do first. So we'll sketch out a line here that's kind of got a tilt to it. Then I'm going to come down here and draw a parallel line that's got the same sort of tilt. Okay, so when I connect these lines like that, okay, I'll have a part of our rooftop there that we can see. So let's take another look here. So I need the other aspect of the other part of the roof right here, so I can see that I need to draw a line down like that. This one gets a little trickier. It's okay. And then another little line like that. Okay, we'll go ahead and hook those lines together. Okay, for our house. Looking great. And then to make these actual sides of the house, we'll drop down, come back in here a little bit away from that peak in the roof, and see if you can make a line that goes down like that, and then come over here and do another line like that. Okay, and then we'll cut it in to the hilltop. We're going to try to be on an angle here, like that. Does that make sense to you? And then over here at the back of the house, we'll come down for the other aspect, the little side there, and we'll then hook this line in. So okay, so we got kind of a neat little house way down there, and I'm going to go ahead and line that in with my colored pencil here. This is a dark blue colored pencil. Okay, hopefully you can see that. Really fun when you're really doing a project like this. It's all about what you're thinking. It's, when you're an artist, you get these ideas like, what if I could show that? What if I could draw that? And I just love that about what we're doing, that we get to realize these neat ideas maybe other people wouldn't think of. So Okay, so now I'm going to get some of my chalk colors, and I'm going to add a little bit of blue just to that part of our rooftop, like that. Just that one side part of it. Let's see if we can isolate that. Do you hear my cat over there? That's my art room cat, Lily. Yeah, I don't know what she wants. She wants me to draw better, I think. And then we'll come over here and we'll do the same thing to this part of the house, making that a little bit darker there. I think for this we'll add a little bit of black in there because we want that. We want this side of the house to look a little different than the rooftop. So I'm going to take a little chunk of my kneaded rubber eraser and get in here and blend those things together. Okay, oh, that's so cool. And same thing. I can't really erase here because if I do, I'll go right back down to my black paper and my white will be gone. That's the only disadvantage I've got there. So, how about a couple of pine trees here with my green? Now they're going to be more round shaped from above, so you'll have to kind of gauge what looks good. A couple little pine trees, sort of, you know, landscaping around the cabin, but they're kind of more ball shaped because we're looking at them from above. And then maybe I could even do one over here that's, you know, on the other side of maybe the neighbor or whoever. Maybe they've got some other parts to the house that they can, you know, they have trees planted. So taking my black colored pencil, dark blue colored pencil, more like it, I'm going to add a little bit of texture to these pine trees, a little outlining, and kind of make them where our light source, as you can see, is coming in from the right. So we will try to show that. Shadows on the left, light on the right. Okay, so excuse me. So with this whole thing, I think the first time I did this, I did some light coming out of some windows. So if you want to do some windows, kind of for that extra touch, I'll grab a yellow chalk pastel here, piece of chalk, and I'm going to put a window here, right there. And then I'll even do a couple of windows on the side of my building. Like that. And a little outlining around those windows. Put in some details like window panes if you want. And we'll cut those windows in a little sharper here. Alright, and maybe, you know, draw a lot of fun details, like here's maybe the front door. We could do even some siding on our little house here. Add some shutters. Let's see, let's do a couple little shutters. No, not orange. And maybe some red shutters here. I love it. Red shutters on the side. Can't see them quite as well, but we'll throw them in anyway. And as a final finishing touch, a little bit of light maybe projecting out of the windows onto our snow, and a little bit of light coming out there. I could add a little bit of shading to the rooftop with my colored pencil on top of my chalk. Like that, kind of like that look. And then I could do some neat little drop shadows that look like they're casting off my house and my, around my bushes and things. And that's so neat. Okay. Hey, thanks for sticking in there with me. That was just a real treat. And thanks for working so hard on your snowflake picture. So before we go, remember, we always say this, no matter where you go, no matter what you do, you've got something to be proud of. You're an artist. So stick with it. And we'll see you back here next time in Mr. Shay's Art Room.